Welcome back to another Alliance War. For Loki, we're currently ranked 12 in the Masters bracket, and we're taking on UNull, Ultimate Nullifiers. This war is a mixed bag of a couple of easy fights, a couple of hard fights, and it's actually going to be my worst war of the season. Worst war so far, at least. Of course, the season is not over. Still have two more wars after this one. That could potentially make this the second worst or third worst or something, but as of right now, this is the worst war of the season. I go ahead and throw on a 15% health boost. This first node is an easy one. It's just a 4-star, and I've got class advantage with Void, and you know my Void's a 565, so yeah, this fight's going to be over pretty quick. I do try to back off every time I put her over a threshold of power, just in case she goes into her limbo state. And the only other thing about this fight is that I'm not trying to parry because of the Limber node. And I'm also just baiting out heavy attacks so that I don't cause Mystic Dispersion to trigger. Those are the only things that I was really worried about there. But alright, moving on to the next fight. We have ourselves a 5-star Unawakened Mutant Champion on a Stun Immune node. Bane, Stun Immune to be exact. And I'm guessing that this is going to be... what champion? What Unawakened Mutant Champion on Stun Immune could it be? I think it's going to be Nightcrawler. Wow, look, check that out. It's Nightcrawler. Alright, so Nightcrawler, I attack a few times just to get Bane started on him. And from here, I'm going to try to, get him to switch. Fortunately, he goes back exactly when I want him to, and I get him to switch pretty quickly there. From here, I'm just trying to minimize the Bane damage that I'm taking and, get my specials off on him, let that degen do all the work for me. And, yeah, not too bad at all. He goes down pretty quickly. I get a little bit of an intercept at the end, and he hits the floor. Alright, moving on to the next node. Have a 6-star Unawakened Mutant Champion. And on the Buffet node, Mutant Champion, typically in the past, this has been Cable. And of course, it's always possible that somebody throws a curveball at you and hits you with a different champion than what you're expecting. It's fairly common these days, as I think people are starting to get used to, the placements and stuff like that. So, wouldn't be surprised if it was a different champion, but turns out it is Cable. And this Cable is actually running suicides. So that is fantastic. That is going to help speed up this fight by a pretty good amount, as those suicides are immediately counting as degen, as a debuff, since I'm using Void. So, fantastic stuff. I'm sure this person just had suicides on because, unfortunately, these guys got a really bad matchup. They're in a bit of a rebuilding phase. They finished Platinum 1 last season, but I guess they're in a bit of a rebuilding phase, and they didn't even have... I don't think they had all 30 members even, and, their war rating is quite a bit lower than ours, so... Yeah, these guys just got an unfortunate matchup. I don't think they were trying all that hard. Alright, we move on to a couple of these other fights, and here's where it's going to start to get rough for this war. This is the Buffet mini-boss, 6-star Kingpin. And Kingpin, I've taken him on this node before. I've taken him on plenty of nodes before. Kingpin, I know exactly how Kingpin works, or so I thought. Alright, couple things to watch out for and pay attention to. Check out Stark Spidey's HP right now. It's 21,611 if you missed it between looking at these the buffs here. But 21,600 is all Stark Spidey's working with. And it's one of my least favorite things about Stark Spidey is that his HP, his base HP, is just so low. And that's with a 15% health boost active. He's rank 4, he's not rank 5, so technically it could be higher if I get him ranked up, but... yeah, for now it's pretty low. Alright, I'm building up poise charges, and I'm trying not to get backed against the wall too much here, so I start baiting out a heavy attack, just so I can give myself some room against this guy. I would like to build up to 10, so, I'm still going to be trying to build poise as I go here. But I'm thinking, if I just auto-evade his special 1, that'll give me some poise charges, right? Well, Stark Spidey doesn't really want to auto-evade this fight, apparently. I'm going to try the same thing here, and nope, just get slapped in the face once again. Blocking it, of course, so not taking much damage, but it's just not auto-evading on those specials. Alright, no problem. We'll try one more time, and I'm blocking... What? What? No. What just happened? No. I'm going to die from this degen. There's no way I'm going to survive. What? No. First death of the season? No! Guys, I was so disappointed by this. It's just a Kingpin. I fought Kingpin plenty of times. I didn't know what happened. I was stunned. I was shocked. Why did I not block? Let me explain what actually happened. So I hit him with my special 2, and now he has 5 rages because of shrugging off the taunt, plus the 2 shock debuffs that he has on him. Now he gains a 6th rage when I auto-evade the first part of his special 2. The 6 rages plus the 2 shocks that he had him equals 8 debuffs, and that made him go into overpower, and when he goes into overpower, all of his specials are unblockable. Look at this degen on me, 637. That is why I pointed out Stark Spidey's HP at the start of this fight, because if I was using a different champion, then I might have been able to survive that, but just getting hit that one time, and that 637 every half second that I was ticking away, Stark Spidey, he stood no chance. Even if I used a more powerful boost, stood no chance. Now, if I was max boosted and had like a 30% champion boost and a 25% health boost, then maybe I would have been fine, but there's no way I would have max boosted just for this Kingpin fight. You know, if Stark Spidey was a rank 5, then maybe I would have survived there too, just because his base HP goes up by a lot. You know, the boost that I have on him makes that you know, is a little bit more powerful as a result of his base HP being more powerful. And then also willpower would have been healing for a bit more. So yeah, if he was rank 5, I might have survived it, but as a rank 4, I stood no chance. Now, I knew that when he goes into his overpower that his specials are unblockable. That was not news to me. The part that was news to me was just that when you auto-evade, you give him one of those rages. And yeah, I actually did not know that. You know, this guy always goes into overpower against Stark Spidey. Every time I use Stark Spidey against this guy, he gets there pretty quickly. And I just thought it was because, well, you know, when I put the shocks on him, he shrugs those off, and those count as debuffs that get converted to the rage. And taunt every 5-hit combo gets converted to rage, and if I parry or something like that. So I was thinking those were the reasons why he goes into overpower so quickly. But, no, it turns out the auto-evade is also part of that that gets him there. So yeah, learn something new every day in this game, and unfortunately learning that something new about this Kingpin cost me my perfect no-death run of the season. Now, every time I go against Kingpin in the future, I'm going to be aware of this, and as he starts gaining more and more rages, I'm not going to mess around. You know, I'm definitely going to just be backing out as far as I possibly can once he gets up to, I don't know, like 4 or 5 rages, just in case some weird stuff happens again if I evade multiple times or something like that. Because that was just really unfortunate that I took a death against this guy. So yeah, the rest of this fight goes fine. I did take a lot of block damage this fight just because, you know, I don't know, making mistakes. Playing a little bit shook. I mean, actually, I didn't do this fight until the next morning. I was so pissed, and I was gonna have to reboost pretty soon anyway. So I was like, all right, let me just go to sleep on it. I'll heal up before I reapply the boost and all that stuff. So yeah, unfortunately, I died to freaking Kingpin. He was only a 6-star rank 1. I've taken on 6-star rank 2s. I've taken on 565 champions. I've taken on more difficult opponents like this Infinity Man here, or Domino, or whoever. Anyone is more difficult than Kingpin. But unfortunately, it happens sometimes, right? Anyway, let's move on to this this Infinity Man fight here. So, Infinity Man, not too bad. There's 2 things to watch out for this guy, really. I mean, this node, you know, the node's changed the fight a little bit. Of course, against this node, he has the aggression armor, so I have to be a little bit more cautious. But on a regular node, you just have to watch for how much armor he's gaining, period, just off his regular abilities. And then the second thing to watch out for is anytime he gains a bar of power, he seems to be very loose with throwing that special 1. And you want to have a little bit of distance when starting to evade that special 1. Otherwise, you can sometimes get caught by that the first part of the special 1 there. So what I normally try to do is if I'm going to push him over a bar of power, I try to only do a 4-hit combo. This way I could back out once, give myself that distance, and evade the special 1 more cleanly. So yeah, once you got that down, the fight's not too bad, especially with Void here. I've got a whole bunch of debuffs on him. I've got Fear the Void. I've got Petrify. If he goes down to 15% health at this point, yeah, there's nothing to worry about. He's actually going to be losing power instead of gaining power. Now, coming up, there's one punch that I throw at him that was very risky on my part, and honestly, I feel like I should have gotten parried. He had the 1 armor, plus the 3 from the aggression armor node, so I feel like I should have got parried there, actually, but I didn't for whatever reason, and yeah, he goes down. I mean, even if he parried me there, he wasn't going to do enough damage to kill me or anything like that. But yeah, he's down. Alright, next node is Recovery, Arc Overload, and Armor. And this is just a tech champion. I haven't found any tech champion that has been too difficult on this node. Infinity Man has been put on this node a few times, but that's no problem. I was thinking it might be back-to-back Infinity Men, since I don't think these guys cared too much about Defender diversity. But it turns out it is just Nebula. Okay, Nebula, no problem. I've got the Killmonger synergy, so I'm just going to try to gain as much health as I possibly can. Try to play this as cleanly as possible. Make sure I'm not, you know, taking too many blocked hits. If I am going to be blocking, hopefully it's just a parry. Unfortunately, I do take a couple of block shots there, but it's not too bad. And yeah, just trying to gain as much health as possible through this synergy, where if you're not familiar with the synergy, every time I throw a special one, or every time one of Void's natural debuffs gets applied through that little timer, then I'm going to gain 1% of my base HP. Plus 15% on that 1% for the Recovery Mastery, so 1.15% really. But I've got Fear the Void up to counter this, to counter the Arc Overload, and yeah, she's going to be dropping momentarily here. I'm trying to just kind of stall and let one more debuff land on her, hopefully. Yep, there we go. I gain up to 92% right at the end there. Not too bad. The next fight is a 565 champion, so I really wanted to gain as much health as possible for that. So this is going to be a Blade on this mini-boss, and I've never seen Blade on this mini-boss node before. A little bit of an interesting choice to put Blade here. I was kind of surprised that this person wasn't using Blade on their attack. They just put down their strongest champions as defenders instead. And I am going to heal up to full here, or pretty much full, just in case something happens. You know, if I get Blade to a special 3 accidentally because of the strike back node or something like that, you know, I want to be able to survive that L3, because I'm not going to be using a 3-minute boost here. Don't want to have like an invulnerability. Don't want to use an invulnerability boost if I can help it. So yeah, an L3 could be pretty devastating, or if I get clipped by the L2. Just want to have as much health as possible. Play it safe, especially since I already died once this war. Alright, I've got 1 Petrify on him, so that's a great start. If I throw a special now, he's only going to gain a half a bar of power. But I'm actually not going to throw a special at all, not to start out the fight at least. One of the things I've noticed about Blade is that sometimes I get backed up against the wall against this guy. His special 2, he kind of lunges forward a little bit, and that makes up some ground. His special 2 is punishable if you evade the last few bullets, and I am going to do that in this fight as I get kind of pressured to have to do that as I'm, you know, backed up against the wall here a little bit. But I actually prefer not to punish it in war if I can. It kind of depends. I mean, of course, so depending on the fight and the node, if you need that opening, then you don't really have a choice. You got to take any opening that you can get. But sometimes I've noticed that if I time it just a little bit off, then I can dash in and get myself parried. And against Blade, although he doesn't have danger senses against me because he's on defense, and you know, the synergies don't work on defense, so even if he had a Ghost Rider defense, he wouldn't have danger senses. Even without danger senses, he could still hit pretty hard, just being all boosted up and class advantage and all that. So don't even want to risk it, and don't want to attack if I don't have to. The other thing that makes it so that I get backed up against the wall is that his special 1 is really not safe to punish, is even less safe than the special 2. Oof, got hit a couple times there. But yeah, the special 1 not being safe to punish is also what gets me backed up against the wall. I end up throwing my special 3 here just to give myself that distance like I was saying. And from here, the fight's not going to last long enough for me to get to another special 3. So from here, I already know I'm going to be throwing a special 1 if I can get to it in time. Plus, he's got Fear of the Void and a single Petrified debuff up, so I know that if I hit him with a special, he's actually going to be losing power. It'll actually help my power control to do that. So there we go. Now he's actually got 2 Petrifies, so if I throw another special, he's going to lose an entire full bar of power. So really safe to use it on the special there. But yeah, this last special is going to actually kill him, and that is a wrap. So unfortunately, I did die this war, the 10th war of the season. I made it the first 9 perfect, and then the 10th war, I died. Reminds me of bowling, where you need 12 strikes in a row for a perfect game in bowling, and there's 12 wars in a season. And I feel like I got to the 10th frame here, and I threw a 9 spare. And, you know, it's still a pretty good season. Still a season I'm very proud of, but still disappointing because I was so close. So freaking close, guys. Well, still want to finish out strong and make sure I can, you know, get these next 2 wars down cleanly. So we'll see how that goes. We did take the victory here. Good work to you guys over in UNull, and that's going to be it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.